Hello and welcome to a mod spotlight video. This is going to be my first one. It is actually not the first though. Fish Sandwich has done quite a few himself. It was his idea to start them. It was kind of a brilliant idea. And yeah, there's way too many mods for one person to do, so I'm going to be helping him out and picking up the slack. So this first one here is going to be on F.A.R.L, the automatic rail layer. And this is a pretty damn awesome mod. So, as the title would suggest, it automatically lays train rails. And not only that, it will lay the poles and the lights. It only does one by default. This is just kind of my starting point that I made. But it will lay down poles and lights next to the track at correct intervals. And it can also lay down rail signals as well. And yeah, so all you have to do is research it, and it gets unlocked through the rail signal research here, which is just red and green science. So it should be pretty easy to get early on. Just unlocks the actual machine, and then you just build it here. Not particularly expensive, a diesel locomotive, long-handed inserters, and some steel plate. And then you're good to go. So you just place it down on a rail, and you want to fill your wagon here with a ton of rail and lights and poles. You can use big or medium electric poles. It will not use small ones. It just won't work. So I'm going to go ahead and stick those in there, stick the rest of my rail in there, even though I won't need that much. And once you hop in, you see here in the top left that a dialog box appears. And there's a few options, just these two here, to place signals or place poles. But then if you go over here to this little S, you can have a whole more variety of options, a whole lot more, I should say. You know, I want to leave these two checked, obviously. Tell it to collect wood, and I don't want it to drop wood when full because we're just not going to be going through that many trees, so that won't even happen. You can choose the distance between rail signals. The default is perfectly fine with me. And you can choose if it uses a big pole or a medium pole. I'm going to use the big ones myself. You can choose what side of the track the pole is on. It defaults to the right side. You can connect them with logic wires. Minimum pole placement, I leave this checked. It kind of just makes sure they're placed at the default distance. And you can read blueprints into it if you want your custom pole and light designs. So that's pretty cool, but I don't really use it just because it places one and a light automatically, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Now what would be really cool is if it placed lasers too. That'd be pretty damn awesome. But let's go ahead and get started here. So I'm gonna save, those are fine. And it does have a cruise control option. And pretty much what this does is it will just head off and go and drive on its own at a certain set speed until you tell it to stop or turn or whatever. Personally, I'm not going to use this because I prefer to just do it manually since I have a bit more control over it, and it's it's really not that difficult to press the W key, but it is really pretty cool that this option is in here. So I'm going to go ahead and press start. And you can see it places a little track in front to get me going. And then you just drive it like a normal train. And you can see I'm not going to go too fast. It can go as fast as a train normally. It places poles, it clears out the forest. And I'm going to try to make, the turns are a little bit difficult to make here. I don't think that was correct, but we'll see. It's a little bit too wide. But as you can see, you can just draw shapes on the map. You can go nuts with it. And, I mean, it's going to run out of rail here pretty shortly. I've aggroed the biters, but, I mean, it's pretty awesome. It'll just it'll clear trees and stuff. It'll not clear buildings or anything. It does clear rocks as well. But yeah, it won't clear buildings or any structures that are in the way. So apparently I pissed these guys off. But yeah, it's really cool. It's so helpful because, you know, if you have to draw long train tracks, it's not really fun drawing them manually, walking all the way over there. And I mean, you can get in a normal locomotive and like put the rail in your hand in front of you and drive, and it will do kind of the same thing, but it's not as effective. It doesn't clear trees or place poles or lights. So yeah, I'm gonna try to make another turn again. I don't really... Can't place rail. That's because it's actually out of rail, but yeah, the turns are a little bit hard to get used to at first. I needed to come over like one more, but I mean, you get the gist of it. It is so very helpful, so very nice, and as you can see, it threw all the wood it cleared into the back of my trailer here, so that doesn't all go to waste as well. And yeah, I mean, I think that's really all to cover. This is a pretty short, simple video, but the mod is really straightforward and simple, and really neat. Oh, one last quick thing. To read the blueprints, you want to make 2. Now, in the actual post for the mod, it explains this, but you make the kind of blueprints you want and put them in your hotbar here, and then just click read, and you should be set to go. But yeah, so you can find all the other information about it in the actual post for it, which at this point I think is actually found under the big mods section, like where Ditech and stuff is. They placed it over there, so you can go check it out. It is pretty awesome, and I think that about covers it. So I look forward to doing the next mod spotlight. Not quite sure which one I'll do it on yet, but definitely look forward to that. If you have any suggestions for a mod you would like me to do a spotlight on, or for fish to do a spotlight on, definitely post down in the comments, and we will get right on that. So, as always, thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I do hope you enjoyed, and I hope it was helpful, but until next time, I look forward to seeing you all, and take care.